There's a coat hanger. Cut to the intro. Yes, so I don't know if you can see the coat hanger there. Yes, that's right. I love Birdemic. Such a great movie. And my good friend Tony over at Red can't stand it. So good to know. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's well worth watching. Yeah. Anyway, on with the show. So there you go, new intro. What do you think? I thought it was pretty good myself. So, yeah, I made it though. I could be a bit biased. Yes, I love Birdemic. This is true. One of the reasons why I love it is because it's so incredibly terrible. And, like, it's not meant to be taken seriously. And I know that my friend Tony understands that. I know that the Red channel understands that. But, you know, he just doesn't get it. And I say pollux to him. Pollux to you, Tony. So, yeah, let's get on with answering the question. What makes good cinema? Can I just take a second to say, I noticed you put a lot of nudes in there, Tony. Is there something you want to tell us? No, but seriously, getting on to the point. What makes good cinema? I have a system for rating cinema. I have a system for rating all things. Instead of like a 5-star or 1 out of 10 or whatever, I have a much simpler system, right? It has very simple ratings. Rating number 0 means that you shouldn't waste your time seeing it. Don't bother with it. You know, it's overrated and overhyped. Transformers by Michael Bay is an excellent example of that. Sorry Michael Bay, sorry Transformers fans. I personally am a Transformer fan. I hated that movie. 0. A 1 means that if it's on, watch it. You know, if you come across it, if you're bored and you have nothing better to look for, you know, check it out. It's worth watching once. It doesn't have a lot of rewatchability, or maybe it's not quite entertaining enough, or whatever. So a 1 is a see it if it's on, and you know, you're doing the ironing or something. Don't go out of your way to see it. 2 is an amazing movie, right? And you should go out of your way to see it. Everyone should see it in their life at least once. They should check it out because it's just that great a movie. And I think that makes it simple, right? 0 means nothing. 1 means watch it if it's there. And 2 means yes, go and see this movie. Now I should point out, there are a couple of addendums to this since making that system. I've discovered some movies which I believe are perfect in what they do. They get a 2+ rating. There's very few of these, I think 3 maybe, that I have ever said, yes, that's a 2+ movie. We're going to talk about some of them today. I also have a rating C, right? C for classic. And that is that these movies are essential to the canon of video you know, history, and if you don't watch them, you probably won't get most references in society today. So I know my favourite thing is, you know, The Simpsons and Futurama. There's like a Star Wars reference in most episodes at some point. You know, things like that. Back to the Future gets referenced quite a lot. The Terminator. You know, these are movies that are classics that everyone should probably watch, right? And that's what gets a C rating. And I think that, yeah, so that's so it sort of has, it's sort of between 1 and 2 is a C. It might not be good enough to get a 2, but you know, it is a classic and everyone should see it. So without further ado, I think the best way to answer that question, what makes good cinema, is to just go straight into a top 10 list, because who doesn't love a top 10 list?
It is now 7:06. You have exactly 8 hours and 54 minutes to ponder the error of your ways. Any questions?
Yeah. Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
A brain, a beauty, a jock, a rebel, and a recluse.
Can't believe this is really happening to me.
Before this day is over, they'll break the rules.
Alright, so on number 10, I have The Breakfast Club. Right now, a lot of people might say, hey, that belongs higher on the list. And a lot of people might say, such as Rachel, for instance, my wife, she would say, dude, that is a rubbish movie.
In a way they never dreamed possible.
Why'd you do that?
Because I knew you wouldn't.
The Breakfast Club. They only met once,
I don't want to be alone anymore.
You don't have to be.
but it changed their lives forever.
And I think that the thing with The Breakfast Club is that you have to watch it at the right time in your life. If you don't see it at the right time in your life, it's not going to be great for you. So I like it because I think that, firstly, they've done so much with very little, right? As a former filmmaker, I should say, myself, I understand that when you don't have a lot of resources, it's difficult to make a good movie. And I think that if you look at that, The Breakfast Club, that film, it's basically 6 actors and, one set, which has a few external shots here and there. And that, it's still an engaging piece of drama from that, right? It also is excellent for character development. It's got such an important idea of characters, and they're well constructed. And if it didn't have that, that movie wouldn't work. So that's why I think that one should be number 10. I think
I'm not wrong, am I?
Universal Pictures presents Emilio Estevez, Paul Gleason, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, and Ali Sheedy in a John Hughes film.
Why are you being so nice to me? Because you're letting me.
The Breakfast Club.
Coming into number 9 is my first action film and my favourite action film and my Christmas tradition, and that is Die Hard, the best Christmas movie ever made.
It's Christmas Eve in L.A.
California.
Is Daddy coming home soon?
Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
And New York cop John McClane has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
Instead, he's going to have to save her.
Sit down.
Within this skyscraper high above the city, 12 terrorists have declared war.
They're about to be taught a lesson in the real use of power.
They're as brilliant
Because I am interested in the $640 million in your vault.
as they are ruthless.
And I'm telling you, you're just gonna have to kill me. Okay. We do it the hard way.
Now, the last thing McClane wants
Think, damn it, think.
is to be a hero.
Where's Holly? Hey, Tucker! Where?
But he doesn't have a choice.
What does he think he's doing?
Job.
That's right, I defy you to find a better Christmas movie. You can't do it. Die Hard is it. So, Die Hard, as you may or may not know, is about, a cop who is, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's really, one of those big wrong place, wrong time movie trilogies. The thing that I love about Die Hard is that while it is an action movie, right, it's predominantly just one guy shooting up a bunch of bad guys. It's not just blatant violence. There's a storyline there. There are strong characters. Look at Hans Gruber. What an amazing guy. He understands how the police work. He understands how good guys work, and he's completely pulling like the wool over their eyes for most of the film. Spoiler alert, it's all just a burglary. It's got nothing at all to do with terrorism and all the rest of it, but by making it look like that, like he is a master criminal, I love it. If criminals were like that in this real world, we would be really seriously boned. Instead, it's not the criminals who are like that, it's the people in power who are like that. Yeah, that's right. Good job. Capitalism. That's what we like to see. So, and I guess that's the other point of that movie is, and its sequels are often about that too. It's about what happens when terrorism meets capitalism. Number 1, number 3, number 2 not so much. It was an interesting little idea. Number 4, to some degree, the same thing. Number 5, Man, there are so many Die Hard movies. They're awesome. Go watch them all.
They have already killed one hostage.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm ordering a pizza? He's inside? Who is he?
Who are you then? You are most troublesome for a security guard.
Sorry, wrong guess, huh? Would you like to go for double jeopardy?
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, mother. You just destroyed a building. I am in charge of this situation. Well, I got some bad news for you. Come up here, then look like you're in charge of Jack. He is alone, he is tired, and he hasn't seen dipping squat from anybody down here.
Hey, pal, how you feeling?
All things being equal, I'd rather be in Philadelphia.
And you have it.
Only John can drive somebody that crazy.
He's an easy guy to like.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs.
And a hard man to kill. Bruce Willis, Die Hard.
Got invited to the Christmas party by mistake. Who knew?
Coming in at number 8 is a little known movie. It's a small movie. It stars Michael Cera and Kat Dennings. It's called Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Now, it's a bit arty. It's a bit of an art house movie. It's a little romance thing. And it is one of my favorite movies, right?
Not again. Oh, damn it. Come on.
This is Nick. He's a sensitive musician.
I'm not going. We have a gig, Nikki. I don't want to go. I'm taking a mental health day.
Who's bad at relationships.
Hey, Tris, it's Nick. I just wanted to talk to you. You know, I think we both said some things we didn't mean, like when you broke up with me on my B-day.
This is Nora.
Okay, everybody in.
She always plays by the rules.
You have to promise me that you won't get drunk tonight.
But tonight...
Nora, alone again?
I came here with someone.
Who?
She's going to break them.
Would you be my boyfriend for 5 minutes?
What?
Please, just go with it, okay?
Nick, Nora, how do you guys, know each other?
We have the same dentist.
Yeah, he's good. Are you Triss's Nick? I gotta get my friend home.
We'll take the drunk mess home. You two go have fun.
If you touch one hair on her head, I will kill all of you! Nora, I'm being carried! Ow!
Oh, she'll be okay.
This one was an instant 2 stars for me. I think everyone should see this movie. It's such a good movie. It leaves me with tingly feelings. I watched it in my life when I was feeling a bit down and having issues with romance and things like that. And it really helped me out. It gave me hope. It's probably my favorite love movie. Not that it's a lovey movie. Right? It's not lovey-dovey. It is designed for the audience that would be a fan of Michael Cera movies. If you liked Juno, you'll probably like Nick and Nora. And yeah, I just think that the character and their approach to that is amazing. In fact, it's got one of my favorite quotes about love, and it's where he's sort of giving, one of his friends is giving Michael Cera's character like this pep talk, Nick, right? Trying to give him this pep talk so that he can get over this girl that he didn't like.
What were we talking about? Right now, Nora. No, Tris. Tris.
You just haven't figured it out yet, have you?
What?
It. The big picture.
Guess not.
The Beatles.
What about them?
This. Look, other bands, they want to make it about sex or pain, but the Beatles, they had it all figured out, okay? I Want to Hold Your Hand. It's the first single. It's effing brilliant, right? Because that's what everybody wants, Nikki. They don't want a 24-hour hump sesh. They don't want to be married to you for 100 years. They just want to hold your hand.
Let's stop doing that.
I want to hold your hand, right? That's what it's about. And, I thought, wow, that's such an amazing insight into the world. And it expanded my mind. Yeah, let's check that out.
Where are are you? I found Jesus. What? Jesus! He's much taller in person. He's hung up on Tris.
Let's just say we're not the biggest fans of his ex, and we think you're the one.
Can you dance? You know the blow dryer?
Nora, come on.
Hey, what's wrong?
This doesn't concern you.
Push me again.
Oh, and what? That's it!
Awesome. Awesome night.
Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
Number 7, we have yet another sort of lovey-dovey movie. And again, another movie that you have to see at the right time, right? I think it's a Class 2 movie, right? It's Stealing Beauty with Liv Tyler, right?
Lucy Harmon is on a journey.
I just wanna be a woman. I can't get over how grown up you look. I hope so after 4 years.
A summer vacation in a land of enchantment.
Ian's doing my portrait. It's really just an excuse for my father to send me to Italy.
You met Lucy.
Oh, she's irresistible. I'm mad about it.
Now, in this house,
I think we've been faithful to each other for 20 years. Can you believe that? Yes.
in this magical place,
I wrote you once, you know?
What was it about?
How I thought of you when I was in the woods.
You wrote that letter?
You're in need of a ravisher.
I'm waiting.
she'll meet people she's never imagined.
Do you ever get the feeling you're being watched?
Experience feelings she's only dreamed of.
I mean, you do have fantasies, right?
She'll discover a mystery
Do you remember where you were in August 1975?
that will unlock her past.
I met him in the summer when I was 15. He was the first person I really kissed.
She's searching for something.
And touch them all with a beauty that will steal their hearts forever.
What about falling in love? Not even mentioning falling in love.
Love? That's not a word that I use.
No, I don't think he's the one. Not for you.
This summer, Fox Searchlight Pictures invites you to share a sensual journey you will never forget.
Why have you never wanted to sleep with anyone?
It's not that I haven't wanted to sleep with anyone.
Jeremy Irons, Liv Tyler,
You ever been in love?
Lots of times.
Stealing Beauty, the new film from Academy Award-winning director Bernardo Bertolucci.
Similar to Breakfast Club, uses a very small sort of scope of set and characters and things like that. It's character drama. And I think you're starting to notice a pattern here. A lot of the things I'm talking about, it's about the characters, it's about the storyline, it's about the drama. That's what makes good cinema, right? It's not about throwing in effects. You can have amazing cinema with a very small scope and small budget, I think. That's important to understand. Stealing Beauty, I think you should check it out. I think everyone should watch that about the time they're 19. I think that's a good time period to watch it in. Just as Breakfast Club is probably good to watch when you're about 15, right? There's certain points in your life where I think you should see certain films. And I think, around the age 17, 18, 19, you should check out Stealing Beauty because it is an amazing movie. Tony will also like it because you get to see Liv Tyler's boobs. Yeah, that's true, but, what can you do? That's true. That's a bonus, but not a reason to see it. There are other reasons to see it. Here we come to number 6, the top of the bottom of the top 10, and that is Fight Club. Man, what an amazing movie!
I want you to hit me as hard as you can. Why? How much can you know about yourself? You've never been in a fight.
Wait, let me start earlier. Like many of you, I was stuck.
No, you can't die from insomnia.
I'd flip through catalogs and wonder, what kind of dining set defines me as a person? This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. I prayed for a different life.
Soap. I make and I sell soap.
And this is how I met Tyler Durden.
Come on, hit me before I lose my nerve. Ow! You hit me in the ear!
So, yeah, if you haven't seen Fight Club, watch it. Go watch it now. It has bits of violence, and it's a bit weird the first time you watch it, but it's absolutely worth the watch. It's a 2, instant classic. Yeah.
It was on the tip of everyone's tongue.
Can I be next?
We just gave it a name.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
After Fight Club, we all started seeing things differently.
You're gonna have to keep me up all night.
And she ruined everything.
You're not into her, are you?
No, God, not at all.
We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be movie gods and rock stars, but we won't.
He had a plan. To what purpose? In Tyler we trusted.
I gotta take Fight Club up a notch. Each one of you has a homework assignment. You're gonna start a fight with a total stranger.
That's not necessary.
And you're gonna lose.
That hurt.
You were looking for a way to change your life. You got it.
I'm stopping this.
It's already done, so shut up.
What kind of sick game are you playing?
Oh my God.
Where is my mind? Where is mine? This is too much.
In the end, you will thank me.
Wow! Wow!
It's a bit harder to watch the second time when you know what's going to happen, but wow, what an amazing film.
Steven Spielberg presents Back to the Future, a Robert Zemeckis film. Marty leads an ordinary life.
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley.
Well, history is going to change.
And 1985 is not his year. But Dr. Brown is about to change all that.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
He's sending Marty 30 years back in time.
It's a flying saucer from outer space!
Now, he's trapped in the past.
It's gotta be a dream.
About to meet
Chocolate.
his future father.
He's a peeping Tom.
Wow!
And he's making an impression on his mother.
It's an absolute dream. And he can sleep in my room.
Alright, so now we reach the top 5 part of the top 10 list. This is where we're starting to talk about classics. We're starting to talk about, things that are really important to the world. And I think number 5 has to be Back to the Future. Yes, so the Back to the Future trilogy, Back to the Future 2 being the best, I think, very easily. And what more is there to say? Back to the Future.
Anything you do could have serious repercussions on future events.
Now, he's got to make his mother and father fall in love.
For crying out loud, I haven't even been born yet.
And only Dr. Brown can help him get back to the future.
Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Precisely.
It is a classic film that celebrates everything that is 80s and everything that is, science fiction-y, but in a way that a normal audience can understand. If you're an English teacher, you're going to love to show this to your kids because there is so much product placement in it. It is crazy, especially the second one. Man, check it out. Amazing. The list of sponsors for that movie. If it wasn't for that movie, those sponsors, I don't think the movie could have been as amazing as it was. But there you go. Back to the Future. Why is it good? I don't know. I think it's a classic. I think it's something that I grew up with in my childhood. I think it also has a lot of... it's got a lot of intertextuality, which links it to other things. I think by watching that movie, it can broaden your understanding of the world, right? And of how different events affect different things. I think it's a great film. I think it's a classic. It's rated classic. Upon watching it again, it's probably not a 2-level film, but it's definitely a classic. Everyone should see it. Wow. Just wow.
Michael J. Fox.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Christopher Lloyd.
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Back to the Future.
The Blues Brothers, number 4.
You'd better get bright, pal. We got a show to do. Then we got to figure out some way to collect that gate money. Get it to the Cook County Assessor's office as soon as they open in the morning.
Joliet, Jake, and Elwood Blues. Two men with a mission, and only 11 days.
And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
Our Lady of Blessed Acceleration, don't fail me now.
Right in there with, you know, again, another classic. The soundtrack to this is amazing. You know, you gotta check it out if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, then what is wrong with you? Right from the very start, with that Frank Oz scene where he's playing the, you know, guard, handing back the things. Oh, man, it starts cracking up.
For me and the Lord, you gotta understand it. We're on a mission from God.
Lots of space in this mall.
People walking around every day playing games and taking scores. Trying to make other people lose their mind. Well, be careful you don't lose yours. Yeah,
how are you going to raise $5,000 in 11 days without ripping off somebody?
It does take a little bit to get going at the start. I've noticed watching it as an adult, but far out. You know, so much music, so much fun, so much funniness. You know, there are so many quotable lines in that. Yeah, wow, it's amazing.
I remain celibate for you.
Hit it.
My heart's calculating, my true love will be waiting.
If my estimations are correct, we should be very close to the Honorable Richard J. Daley Plaza. That's where they got that Picasso. Yep.
My favorite scene is when they're in the car at the end and they're like, you know,
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
Hit it.
It's nighttime and we're wearing sunglasses. Let's go. Pew! So.
John Belushi,
You, how much for your wife?
Dan Aykroyd,
After the gig, maybe we could, like, hang out together.
James Brown,
I heard the sound in my car.
Cab Calloway, Ray Charles,
You know depreciation, man.
Carrie Fisher,
I must now kill you and your brother.
Aretha Franklin,
You're living with me now, and you're not gonna go sliding around with your old white woman friends.
Henry Gibson,
He better pray the police get to him before we do.
and the Blues Brothers Band.
Let's go, boys.
The Blues Brothers.
Are you the police?
No, ma'am. We're musicians.
Welcome to the top 3. Okay, so here we go. This one here is probably one of the best movies ever created, I think. I think it's very easily an amazing movie. Blows my mind. Some people might say, oh, this one is not the best one of the trilogy even, let alone of the entire world. And you're wrong. If you don't think this is the best one of the trilogy, get out, because you know nothing, Jon Snow. That's right, I'm talking about Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5. But wait, Episode 5? I thought you said it was part of a trilogy. As Douglas Adams would say, a trilogy in 6 parts. Soon to be 7, 8, and 9 parts. Wait, and then you've got the Boba Fett and the Han Solo and a possible third movie between those two guys. A trilogy in a billion parts! Wars, Empire Strikes Back. This is an amazing movie. It's one of my favorite movies because I think it's one of the only movies where the bad guy wins. That and The Ring. Correct. That and The Ring. I think it's really important for people to see that sometimes the bad guys win. And sometimes the heroes end up, you know, not able to succeed. And that's pretty crappy, right? And that's good because that makes us feel inside. And that's what art should do, is make you feel, right? And that's exactly what that film does for me, you know? I'm gonna put a clip up here if I can. You know, they're in the thing and Leia's like, I love you. And he's like, I know. And then he goes down into the thing and then Chewbacca's like, ah! And you know, right at that moment, you know, wow, everything's going to shit. Not gonna win, you know. And you see Boba Fett walking out, wait, they could still win. And you know, when they're chasing him along, pew pew pew, and they get there, and you know, Lando's got his buddy with the Dr. Dre's beats on. He's like, doot doot doot, and then they all come out and yeah, let's get Boba Fett, pew 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 pew, and the Stormtrooper's like, pew 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 pew, and then there's like smoke, and R2-D2 like. Breaks a thing and goes everywhere, the fire extinguisher goes everywhere and it creates a smoke for them to get away. Then you see Boba Fett loading the thing up onto the Slave One and then off he flies. Boo!
The new chapter in the continuing Star Wars saga is now in our galaxy.
And you're like, holy crap, they didn't get Han! They didn't get Han! And you're like, what? Amazing movie. Easily the best film ever. And if you disagree, you're a chump.
You are safe. It's all safe. What you're imagining right now, that place can be as real as any pain. Don't be afraid. You have all the weapons you need. Your fight for survival starts right now.
Now, we get into the 2+ range of movies, right? So, I think number 2 on my list has to be Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch? But wait a minute, that's a terrible film. I don't understand why you would say that is great. You know, it's so cliched, and it doesn't have good rewatchability, and, you know, all sorts of weird stuff that happens in it. I don't understand. It's, you know, not very empowering to women, even though it pretends to be. What are you going on about, you crazy man? Well, it's interesting you should say that, because did you know that Sucker Punch, they don't swear in it once, and the only time you see blood is when the chick dies, when Rocket dies, right? Spoiler alert. And I think the way that they use that, I don't know, that film, the way that they use those different layers of story just blew my mind. It's so metafictive in its construction. It's got so many levels, and if you go back and watch it, you are going to see many different, you know, different things each time you watch it. You know, the main plot line feels, especially the end, feels like a bit of a cop-out, but the individual little parts of the story are so powerful, I think. And I think that that's, you know, again, it's a movie where the bad guys win for the most part. And you know, it makes me feel a little bit inside. It's very dramatic, and you know, the way they've used music, the way they've used color, you know, I get my English teacher on. I know a lot of people who know me make fun of that, but man, what an amazing movie.
I'm gonna escape from here.
There's armed guards everywhere. If Blue finds out, we're dead.
We're already dead.
Begin your journey. If you do, it will set you free.
Far out. Yeah, I think, yeah, what really blew my mind was the second time I watched it in the cinema for the second time, I should say. It occurred to me, hey, there has been no swearing in this movie, right? When they're like, they're about to swear and then like it zooms out and you can't hear them over the chain gun in the ship or whatever when they're fighting the dragon. It's like boo 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 boo, your mother boo, and then you can't hear the swearing over the sound, right? And it was like, hang on, there's no swearing in this movie. And then later on in the movie, you know, spoiler alert, when Rocket gets stabbed, you're like, hey, holy cow, man, this is like not as violent as it looks, because everything up until this point has been like a zombie or a Nazi zombie or like a crazy stone Oni thing or like a dragon that's not real and orcs and stuff or like robots, you know, like it's, yeah, it takes it to like this weird level. And I think the other thing is that because they've combined so many elements of different fantasies, like it's really imagination meets reality on top of imagination. Like it's such a well-structured film. Oh, you know, I cannot say enough good things about this film. 2+, check it out. Here we are, number 1. What's it gonna be? Well, of course, it's Spice World, the Spice Girls movie.
When the world is in trouble, when our future is in danger, we call upon one man. But when he's busy, he calls 5 girls. Columbia Pictures presents The Spice Girls.
All right, we're coming.
In their film debut, Victoria, Emma, Mel B, Jerry, and Mel C. They're ready for action.
I trolled you. No, it's not Spice Girls. That is a terrible movie. Yeah. Oh no! It's tragic, but here we go. What is number 1 is... Up. That's right. The first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is of that movie, every single person I know cries because it's so touching. Pixar, just take your heart and rip it out and then serve it on your plate with some fries in a little bun and be like, here you go, take that, buddy, because, man, pff, wow. And because of that at the start, the ending becomes so much more powerful. Oh man, every time I watch it I get a little bit teary. It's one of the 2 movies where I watch it and, you know, it makes me want to cry, you know, because it's so touching. And it's so happy when he goes to pin the little badge on the guy. Oh my goodness. And that is the reason why I have the grape soda badge when I got married as one of my things, you know, the Ellie badge. Yeah. Why is this movie so powerful? Because of the characters, right? I think you're getting the message here. The characters are what's making this film work. And it's their interaction. And if they weren't so strong and powerful characters, then, you know, the film just, it wouldn't work. So that is my #1 film of all time. It was the first film ever to get a 2+. You know, it broke my heart. Man, what an amazing film. You're probably sitting there thinking, Ray, what are you talking about? There are so many other great films, you know? What about Lord of the Rings? What about any of the other Disney films? What about any of the DreamWorks films? What about any of the other action films that are so amazing that, you know, can really do stuff? What about dramas? What about this? What about that? That's true. There are so many. That's my top 10. And I think the reason why that's my top 10 is because it makes me feel. A big part of that for some of the films, such as, you know, Back to the Future or Blues Brothers, is it takes me back. And I go into like a nostalgia mode, which is really quite powerful for me, I think. And it's that making you feel, because I think that's what good art is. I think that's what good art does, is it makes you feel and makes you think about society in a different way. And that's what makes good cinema, is if it's entertaining, if they use their medium well, and if it all comes together nicely to make me feel something at the end of the day, then that's good art, that's good cinema, right? Yeah, so there we go. So I'm going to throw this idea up to the rest of the Red vs. Green channel, and I think we might pull in some other members here. So, you know, what's your top 10 movie list? what's your top 10 cinema list and why, right? So I'm putting this one out to Tony, I'm putting this one out to the Fuzz and to Terry, I'm putting this one out to Zorak and Omo. You guys tell me what your top 10 movie lists are and tell me why, and you can put a spin on it if you want, whatever. If you're watching this at home, you tell me too. Make a video response. Tell me, what's your top 10 movie list and why? Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think? I don't know. I care. Put it down there. And once you log it in, make a video response maybe, even if you wish. Pick a side, red versus green. Let's get you all involved. Let's make this happen. So that's my question to you. What's your top 10 movie list? Put a spin on it if you like. I'll see you then. Ciao for now. Alright, so I think that about wraps up the show for today. I hear a mountain lion. I gotta go. You better get back to whatever it is that you're doing. Don't forget to click like. See ya! I love Birdemic. So I think this is an interesting thing to have just lined up with the world because this is a new topic for us, and it just happens to, like, the question was asked months ago, and I've just got on to making the film now. And yesterday was the day that Robin Williams died and passed away, and I think the world is a sadder place now. He was obviously a man who had many demons. And on behalf of the Red vs Green channel, I'd just like to say a solemn and heartfelt goodbye to this person who's influenced so many people. So, yeah.